Look at this, fam. Boom! We are live, and it's
We're
been a while.
live.
It's been a while for
Are,
Brad because,
are you alive?
I mean, whoa. In good news, the best thing to happen, and I hate to say it because the boys got really sick, but apparently everybody that ate the lamb at Texas Day Brazil got terrible food poisoning.
That
Because,
is the only thing Eloise ate, and it did not go well.
yeah.
I
So
did not touch the lamb, and I feel
I
fantastic.
also I did only the salad bar because Brad went in feeling like poo. So, but it was a great time as usual. So, Adepticon, well done, everyone. Also, every single person I've talked to that went to Adepticon got some sort of illness. So, well done, Adepticon. It was a great time, a great tournament. But also, you were your patient zero for the plague that kills the word.
This is why I stopped shaking hands at conventions a long time ago. There's so many people who don't wash their hands. It's gross.
It's so funny because multiple people have messaged me today and went, "Oh man, I was really good to see you. I've been really sick, so I haven't talked to anybody for a while." I was like,
I'm not sick. I'm just tired. Playing 13 games of 40K, then driving 10 and a half hours home takes a lot on you. Oh, let's not forget the complete not sleeping and just drinking the entire time.
"Oh, I got more story. I've got better stories of getting home than you do." Did you know that if you decide, Mr. Eric, thank you so much for the ride home. Uh-oh, Lyle Dixon with a $2 super chat. Go moo.
Go moo.
I'll go moo all the time. By the way, that picture, your background is terrifying. Looks like you're
Ah!
so. Congratulations to Mr. Brandon Valley,
Thank
fucking
you, Brandon.
crushing out Adepticon. You actually smash fired it too. You snuck in. You goofed off a little bit. You know what? Let's recap everything. Well, actually, let's talk about the list first, and then we'll recap the games.
All right, let's do it.
Because I really like this list. This is something that, as a team, I feel like we really have talked over a lot. And I feel like this is like, I said this before we went live. I think that currently, obviously, we've got the new book coming out, but I think this is the best version of Tau right now. So we've got the Cold Star Commander. You went with all cyclic all the time.
Yep.
Pew pew, do some damage. The Enforcer Battlesuit. Tell me why the Enforcer ended up, because you were back and forth, literally back and forth on every single guy. Uh-oh, hold on. Probability comes in with a $1.90 superstar. Shout out to Brandon for winning. Go moo.
Go moo. So the reason why I chose the Enforcer is for just being able to throw him away deep strike, but having that 2+ save came up so many times. It came up against my match against Eldar when I was doing capture enemy outposts, and I had a charge an autarch. So instead of him having like a 5-up save against the autarch, it was a 4-up save, and it allowed me to stay alive. So
Dark Strider's still just awesome.
he did die all weekend. He
Love it. I love
he
that.
was just there in defiance, doing the one thing that he does really well, standing on the home objective.
I was just saying, standing on your home objective and not getting killed. So we got 2 Breacher Fish, which, man, these things are just... my favorite thing about the Breacher Fish, to be honest with you, I don't care about their damage as much as I care about putting OC a shit ton and move blocking somebody and just stealing their objective, and them having to realize that Tau stole their objective.
So the cool part about that is, like, I was playing against
Oh
demons.
shit! John Shore coming in with a $49.99 super chat. Congrats on the win, Brandon.
Thank you, John.
And Lyle coming in with another. Oh God. I asked ChatGPT to write a haiku about Brandon winning Adepticon because formatting isn't terrible. It will follow. I'm fantastically happy to write this. Thanks again, John. crushing it out. It means that I have to send over stuff to Brandon now. But the devilfish, we're devil fishing it.
Yeah, so the Breachers have a fantastic stratagem in Kion where if they get declared as a target of a charge, they can just jump back in. So when I'm playing against demons and orcs, like they would declare a charge because I'm using the Breachers to spread out further, and then they just jump back in the transport. They may kill the tank. If they do, cool. I get out behind it. And if not, then I just jump back on the objective
I
and
was
shoot
just about to
whatever
say,
charge it does.
you just take the objective again. It's fantastic.
I did it all weekend. I did it to Imperial Knights. I did it to Orcs. I did it to Eldar. It was delightful.
It's so weird to me that people aren't using that more, to be honest with you, because of the fact that you can just go, hey, this seems better. Not being beat up with T3 and a bad save seems way better than standing there getting my ass kicked.
I even charged him into combat to do like single damage wounds to a weird boy. So, all right, the haiku came through. I want to hear it in your poetic voice, Brad.
Oh God, I gotta find out where it is.
It's immediately under what Lyle said.
Oh God, dice roll in his favor. Salty Victor claims the throne. Adepticon champ.
Perfect. Beautiful. I wasn't salty at all. Maybe from those margaritas I was drinking, though.
You were when you messaged me in the middle of the night that I wasn't there yet. You were just yelling at me.
Well, you weren't there yet.
I was at Allen's. I was painting. That's a real thing.
Brad doesn't actually paint. I don't believe it. Alan said during the team tournament you were painting models. I just do not believe it. There's no photos of it.
The bikes he was playing with, I painted. That's how behind we were.
All right, let's carry on with the list. So 2 of those Breacher teams, which magically are still fantastic in the new Codex.
They might be even better in the new Codex. We've got a 6-man Crisis Battlesuit unit showing up with all the mojo.
Pour one out to Cyclonic Ion Blasters.
I was just about to say, pour one out for my homies. I was about to sing some Boys to Men there for a second. So we got Triple Piranha, which you'll be taking in your new list also because they're still amazing.
They're still magically 55 points. I don't understand why.
Now, this is something that we hemmed and hawed about for a long time. The double Riptide, double Skyray. Should we take 3 and 3? Should we take 2 and 2? Should you take... Tell me how you ended up with 2 and 2 was the final version. This is an argument that's been going on for a while.
So the Riptides just go out and do things and they punch stuff and they do bad things to people. Especially when I learn what the actual stats are on their weapons and profile.
I swear to God, you're going to kill me on this.
I will kill. So I've played, let's see, 8 plus 5 plus 6. So I've played 19 games with these Riptides, and I only learned all their stats, the correct stats, not the bad ones I made up for them. 9 games in.
I love that the correct stats.
Actually, 21.
No, it's longer because you didn't know the stats until after Cherokee.
6 at Cherokee. That's when I learned the correct stats of their guns. And then we went 8 rounds at Adepticon. When after the 8th round, I learned that they are OC4, not OC3. And then 5 games of the team tournament. So 17-22.
This is now hearing you say that back to me is like me when I tell people how badly I've messed up the rules and how they get angry at me. Is this how it feels? It's terrible.
I need to do math because my head's exploding. 19 games. So I played 19 games with these Riptides and didn't know the stats correct until after 19th game.
Well done, sir. Well done.
And if everyone says that I was cheating myself. Apparently, I made them worse than they actually are. It was rolling with that through all 3 of these tournaments.
Stealth suits, who, by the way, are bonkersville better in the new Codex. So
reroll 1s to hit, reroll 1s to win the new Codex.
Ooh. For other units that they're guiding. It's so big.
Yeah. And they'll have ignore cover, You could give them a gun drone, save assault weapons. It's good times.
Money in the bank. It's like Brad brought bringing all the models for his orc units. Yes.
I did bring all my models at least.
I did not. I played so many turns. The best was when Joe lost his mind on me at the last game at a Toledo tournament. And I go to roll my Squig Hog attacks. And he just goes, "How are you still winning all these tournaments?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "They have 3 attacks, not 2 attacks, you idiot. Why? How are you winning?" Like, oh, you don't even need all of them. So let me keep the list up here. Let's rock through. I want to rock through your games. Now, remember, everyone, Adepticon's brutal to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the tournaments that's very difficult to win because it's 4 games on Thursday, 4 games on Friday to win. So you got to smash 8 games in 2 days to win this tournament. So walk me through day one. Day one, you rock in Thursday. What do we play? How are you feeling about the army and the terrain? Now, to give props to Matt, the terrain was approximately 62 billion times better than it has been in past years.
Yeah, so in previous years they did player place terrain and they had some pieces from, when I first started playing Adepticon, so at least 11 years ago, and they were still being actively used.
What?
And this year they upgraded all the terrain to GW format. Uh, Odd tables were table layout 1, I believe, and even tables are label 4, one way or another. So all the tables are GW format. All the tables looked absolutely amazing. And Brad, I don't know if you checked out any of the other halls, but they did a massive revamp of all the Star Wars
Yeah,
terrain
I saw
and all
that.
the fantasy terrain too. So like they invested so much money, time, and energy into updating all the terrain where it's just absolutely beautiful, and they should be commended for it. Like
100,
they took community
100%.
feedback and they ran with it.
And the thing is this has been a big thing. I'm going to go into Kenneth Smith, $1.90 super set. Congrats to Mr. Brandon.
Thank you, sir.
But we've been really getting on them for a long time. And what Matt's had this tournament, this is his second year.
Is
With
it?
it.
I thought this was his first year.
Oh, he just got it last year, or at least he just got the champ. Or sorry,
I
the
think I think he got the full responsibility this year. I
yeah.
think he was helping out last year.
So the so Matt he for sure did the team tournament last year. So I don't know if he did the champs on that, but like he basically just took it over, and the team did a fantastic job of making this a million times better. Loved it on that. Also, I have to give props out to him. Also, they put up banners for every team tournament winner since the beginning, and they put them up in the rafters, and they looked awesome. And it was a super cool shout out. Loved it.
Because Adepticon's probably one of it, probably if not the oldest continuous 40K GT, right?
Yeah, and the team tournament.
Like
Uh,
this is the 21st year of Adepticon.
and I think it's wildly by far the longest team tournament that's running right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the team tournament just because it encompasses everything that's cool about 40K. You have to be cool. You have to be a sportsman. You have to have well painted shit. You have to have a theme, and you have to play well on the day of the event. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was rock solid. So, all right, game one,
So,
champs.
so game one played against Blood Angels, and his name is Jerome. He's from California. This was his first big tournament ever. He never had gone to a GT, only like local store tournaments. He had some medical issues that, in order to, just try to make friends and live the best, he went to his tournament and he would just wanted to go there from the experience. And like we talked a lot of things through, like I was helped teaching him how to play his army. Like it was a good introduction for him. Naturally, he didn't win, but it was a good introduction for him because he's like, you were very helpful, help showing me how to play. I'm just so overwhelmed. And I'm like, it's okay. And I bought him a beer. We had a good time and we were hanging out with his friends. So it was good. Um, I hope that I gave a positive experience playing at Adepticon because as someone who's done it, this is my 10th year, I believe. It can be very overwhelming if you've never participated in something like that before. And the fact that he flew in all the way from California to play against me round one kind of stinks. But I hope if I gave a good time. Like we had a lot of fun. We were shooting the shit. We were talking shit all the time. Like I was bowling up crisis suits even though I didn't need to, and he just absolutely loved it. It was great.
Love it.
Um, Round two was against Votan, and he put 10 of his Hearthguard and Deep Strike, and I just used Dark Striders and Devilfish to push everything out, and he just never was able to get objectives, and I was able to get
Now, how did you feel
maximum
about that
points.
matchup? Because a lot of people go back and forth on who they think's favored in this. But I think Tao's favored in this matchup.
I
But
think on GW terrain, I have, because I have the maneuverability bonus, I just wasn't worried about at all about this matchup.
now, was he running a heavy bike list or just a heavy chunk?
He had 3/3/6 bikes, two of the big land fortresses, two Sagittars, like 15 Terminators, five Berserkers, and I think 20 infantry, 20 of the basic infantry. Like, it was a pretty well-rounded, balanced list. It was super durable. It did shoot a lot, but after talking with him, it's like, you don't have enough shots to deal with the amount of toughness 9 and toughness 10 that I have in this list. Especially if I could just, as soon as you expose yourself, I pick up an entire unit.
So we've got Votan down. We've got two games down.
Yep. So the third game
Dude,
was
actually, give me 2 seconds because I want to look at, or give me the third game, but I want to look at the actual missions and stuff that you played. So I'm just going to pull it up.
Yeah, so the third game I played against James Fisher, not the James Fisher that you and I love, but another James Fisher, who apparently his middle name is D. I'll let you make your I'll let you make your little references.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But so he played a really off the wall Eldar list, and I've had lots of practice playing an Eldar. That's why I have the Sky Race. That's why I have the Smart Missiles to deal with Eldar shenanigans. But he had like 5 characters of like lone op. Like, it was insane. He had an avatar. He had 3 squads of warp spiders, 2 squads of swooping hawks, um, the avatar of Kane, the sniper character. He had a bunch of the Harlequin jet bikes that do mortal wounds to vehicles. Like, it was a very off the wall list. And Eldar did Eldar things, and we got a 100-point draw.
I'm putting the list on the board here.
I came to find out that it's physically impossible that mission to get a 100-point draw because it caps at 95 because the way they wrote it.
I was just so.
I found
Also,
that out afterwards.
I'm so disappointed in you at 100 draw. Who does this? You were the end of fun, sir.
Well, you have you have an Elder list that is exceptionally good at scoring points. And then you have a Tau list that is exceptionally good at killing Eldar and scoring points. Like, I think we did the math, our fake math that didn't actually read the mission. Like,
Hey,
he scored.
Did you do like Daniel and I and play your own mission?
Well, we just scored our home objective. We didn't. You're apparently you're only supposed to score the no man's land objective.
Did you play supply drop?
I don't remember what we did. It was so long ago.
It was supply drop, and then you didn't play it. I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
you played that.
But so what we did, we tallied up all the points because I was writing it out by hand and he did it in his app. Like, he scored 115 points and I scored 110. Like, we scored over the caps.
No, looking at this again, for just what you could have, would have, should have, obviously 2020 vision. He has so much trash. Do you think you could have pushed this game a lot harder if you would have done it again?
So I think if I replay that game, because I believe he went first, if I play that game, I think I put everything on the line and just push up against him because he doesn't have anything to deal with anything.
Well, he doesn't have the damage to deal with your vehicles. Like, you have so many vehicles for him, and I'm just looking at this list thinking to myself, obviously he's got Fugan in the avatar, but like, he's just got a lot of ability to take out the trash. He's got the bikes, he's got the spiders, he's he's got the swooping hawks. He has a volume of shots that take out nonsense, but not a lot to take out the big things.
Well, so the Harlequin jet bikes.
Round 3 was the ritual? Oh, got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was worried about their mortal wound output against vehicles because they deal mortals on 4+. So I played a little cagier because of that. But
he just doesn't have the shots on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I feel like if I would have if I redid that match, I'd just play more aggressively into him instead of playing a little cagey like I normally do, and I feel like I just win.
I agree on that. I think that's one of the missions that this matchup you definitely had to. You could have just said, you know what, YOLO Swaggins. There's too many T3 guys. I can just pick them up and move on.
I mean, I was charging Riptides into Warp Spiders. Like,
so,
I was tank shocking and everything. So.
You're going into Tim Schmidt in round 4, and what are you thinking? Because of the fact that also you've got 3 100s, but you're also sitting on a draw, and it's win loss first. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So going into that round, so there were two possibilities because there were a total of two wins and two wins and a draw games. It was either Tim Schmidt and his Knights, or it was Space Wolves. It was like a a hybrid of what Kramer was doing with a bunch of Thunderwolf cavalry and infantry. And I'm like, well, both those lists seem pretty reasonable. Like Knights have been neutered a little bit because they can't overwatch with their big boy. They can't move through walls as easily. They can't, like shoot across the table. So I could just out OC him with like Fire Warriors and Crisis Suits and just make sure he doesn't get on the objective.
I love that
And
you're
I could
like,
use
I'm gonna out.
Piranhas.
I love that you said you're gonna out OC the guys that are OC 8.
Yeah. Well, you got those
Playmaker.
breachers, man. Here's a devilfish and 10 breachers and a character. Oops, 23 OC.
True story.
So I felt more confident into the night matchup. Yeah, he could swing hard with his 4+ invulns and field of pain, which he did, but I was just able to use piranhas and devilfish and stealth suits to just keep blocking him into his deployment zone. At the end of the game, he only had the big knight left. I just ignored it all game, and I killed all the baby knights so he couldn't take any objectives.
And do you think that on GW terrain you could set up pretty good flanks where he's only getting to focus you with a couple knights and you get to pick up 2 or 3 a turn?
Yeah, and that's every single turn I was picking up 3 knights, except for turn 1.
And for everybody watching, man, that is the way to play knights, by the way. Move block left or right, don't care. Move block aside, hard flank aside. You can't take on all the knights. You need to be able to pick up 2, 3 a turn, but only face 2, 3 a turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So somebody has to take one for the team every turn to get in the way to block. But after that, I see people all the time trying to line up on knights, and that is not the
No, they'll pick up a unit.
Yeah.
Like when the big guy got shots on the crisis suit blob, he pulled the entire unit one turn.
Well, the Castellan doesn't fuck
Yeah.
around. He's still got Stranger Danger on him too. He's got Mysterious Guardian.
But yeah, I'm using the piranhas, using the devilfish, using the breachers. I was able to just block him in there really quick and then just pull apart all the little knights. And I had to commit more shots into them. Like there was one turn where I left 3 knights on 1 wound just because he got hot rolling invuln saves and feel no pains. I'm like,
Oh, that's booty because they're basically the same anyways.
yeah. But then I picked them all up and then 2 more. So we were good.
So we're at the end of day 1. You are 3-0-1.
So at the end of day 1, the top 16 is determined. And
by the way,
I was not in the top 16.
With also, which blew my mind because you're 3-0-1 with a bonkers amount of points. You have 389 out of 400.
I had the second most battle points.
So tell me how you're not. What was the tiebreaker?
Strength of schedule.
Yeah.
So my first round opponent dropped, because he was just overwhelmed, and I think my second opponent, the Votan guy, I don't think he won any games. So I just had a lower strength of schedule than everybody else. So when I saw the results and how they were coming in, I was 17th. I was ready to go party. Like I did the best I could. I thought there's no chance of getting into the top 16. And it was like that until they did the announcement.
And then Brandon hold on. He gave the Hogan finger.
So like at that point, like I was hanging out with Eloise, I was hanging out with a bunch of like Kramer. We were just slamming down bottles of wine and doing shots. Like we were ready.
I mean, I was around for the next day.
So it appears that 2 people did not beat the painting threshold and they were dropped from the tournament. Because
tell me what the deal with that was, because they've changed that quite a bit now.
So so let's go back. We're going back in time like they do in Wayne's World.
Back in time.
Like in Wayne's World. Okay. So back in 2022, when the Tau Codex just came out and Harlequins were all the rage, Adepticon was one. Actually, the top 60 Adepticon was covered in Harlequin armies that literally had 1 color on them and they had 3 dots on the paint.
True story.
Like the person who won, and no offense to him, like I lost to him. It's a very devastating army. He literally did not have a paint army. Like the bases weren't done, the riders weren't on the guys. It was literally purple with 3 dots. Like there was no effort. So last year, Adepticon, being a hobby convention first, implemented a bare minimum expectation for paint, and that bare minimum is it was on a 19-point schedule last year, and they have the rubric and the codex. How do you get 19 points? You have a cohesive looking army. You have some stuff on your bases, no plain bases. You have a little bit of gravel that's painted or a tuft of grass. You have minor conversions, and you had a display board. That's it. You get 19 points, you could go in. And I believe last year, 4 people did not meet that threshold, and there was a lot of people who were upset about it. So, based on community feedback, Adepticon lowered the threshold again. So, it's literally battle ready. Your army has to be battle ready in a cohesive color scheme, and you will make the top 16. And seeing the armies that were kicked, like they didn't have paint on their bases. They didn't have like, texture paint. They didn't have a cohesive scheme. Like they were borrowing from multiple people. And I'm like, dude, this isn't battle ready. And they were getting upset because they were like, well, I don't deserve to be in there. I'm like, cool, you did very well. I am proud of you for going 4-0 at Adepticon. It's a hard job, but you're not meeting the battle ready metric. And for people poo-pooing Adepticon about it, FLG just came out with the same guidelines. Games Workshop events have the same guidelines as well. Now that Games Workshop is becoming an active sponsor of these very large tournaments, they're setting the expectation that it is a game and it is a hobby. You have to paint your shit. And because those 2 individuals were doing mixed match armies or didn't have fully painted armies or were hiding models so they couldn't be judged, they were kicked from the top 16, and it allowed myself and Justin Cook in, and both of us had exceptionally well painted tower armies.
I don't like the basis requirement. I do hate putting stuff on bases, which is
But
why I have other
but
people
you
do it.
but you could do battle ready and some minor conversions, so that's your 16 points.
True story.
Like you could do a head swap. You could do like a custom shoulder pad that you 3D printed off. You could just put them in a unique pose. Like it's not hard. I feel like the basing is the easiest for me personally because I love going above and beyond on basing and conversions. But you don't have to. You could have just brought a basic display board. So
I also want to mention the fact that if you want one of these cool display boards, you can go to Still Frosty, which is definitely 2 words.
it is totally 1 word. You are functionally your special needs, and I love you. We've been doing this for over a year now, and you still can't spell my name correct.
What are you getting at?
See, I'm just looking at the comments where the guy's using paint shifter colors. That's fine. That gets you a point. You put effort on the base. These people didn't put effort on their base. They were just black and clear. That's not effort. It's just you painted your model and glued it on a plain base. I would be A-okay, and all the judges there would be A-okay if you put effort into your bases.
Speaking of that, I think I'm gonna stream me painting on Sunday.
I mean, your models that you painted on Sunday, like because you've been sending pictures, those are all battle ready. Like you would have made the top 16 if your entire army looked like that, Brad.
My goal. That's the summer goal. I want to be playing the full thing.
I believe in you.
I'm gonna try to paint some bigger shit on Sunday. So I'm a little afraid of that, to be honest with you.
Just take your time. You'll be all right. And don't use your fingers to paint.
I have been painting with professional ninja brushes. And I literally listened to all weekend of people between Alan and Elliot and Mitch and Matt Aaron all try to talk about what paints were the best. Apparently at Alan's house, it's only Vallejo or nothing. And you know what that means to me? Nothing.
Eloise is very passionate about a particular shade of gold from Vallejo. And I don't remember what that number is. And if she's listening, I'm sure she'll chime in at any point in time to tell me what her favorite gold is. But we have a collection. I think we have 5 different brands of paint sitting next to me.
I do love that Eloise is talking shit about it. She quotes me, "I have been painting with brushes," says it with pride. What? How much do you guys like the greater good? I'm very excited for the Tau. I think we'll go back. You know what? I'm going to tangent on this because it made me excited. Justin squirreled me and showed me something shiny. I'm excited because I think that all 4 detachments are legit and you're going to see some wildly different Tau armies. and they're all going to be tournament worthy. Is one going to potentially pull ahead of the others? Probably, but I still think the detachments are all going to be legit.
I think the carry-on detachment's still the best. But we could talk about that another day, like this weekend when the Codex is going to be in our hands.
Yep, I was just about to say that. So we'll be rocking that. So day one, you've got into the tournament. You did some ninja matrix style dodging of people trying to get you out of the top 16.
Yep.
You're playing orcs. What are your thoughts coming in?
So to answer a question from KR, we didn't find out that we were playing in the top 16 until like 10:30, 10:45. So we're playing till 10:30, 10:45 when they did their award ceremony. They do an announcement. And then I proceed to start drinking until 2:30 in the morning. Because this is the way you do.
I do want to give a shout out to Wog Tactics on this because we did a WOG together and it was powerful.
I heard your walk. I was impressed. So I roll out of bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock, go show up for the top 16. And I was expecting to play demons because I was like, oh, we're going to play demons. Well, apparently they messed up the pairings or something. So they repaired me into orcs. And his name is John. He's a local guy to the Midwest, even though I no longer live there. We've talked about display boards and projects and stuff like that. And I saw his list. I was like, there's no guns. I got this.
Yeah, he doesn't have Dirty Bad Ruck in the boys.
He does not. And that just made that's the biggest threat to my army is Dirty Bad Ruck. Everything else I can manage with screening and blocking stuff
and
out.
The thing is he spent a lot of points in Mega Knobs, and against your army, a little bit of a non-starter on that because you do have the AP in your army to put them on, basically 4s or 5s. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So that game, it was on the Patreon stream for War Games Live. If anybody wants to check that out, apparently Joe received a surge of Patreon members wanting to see Orcs versus Tau at Adepticon, and it was a really good game. I baited him out using my Crisis Suit brick, which is my most powerful tool. I put him out. I'm like, you're not going to charge me turn 1 or turn 2, whatever turn it was, and he did because he did a psychic power and he hot rolled an 11 on the charge.
That's right, baby. Weird boy for the win. He's got 2 of them.
So he got a 20-man squad of 2 characters into the Crisis Suits turn 1. I'm like, well, he called my bluff, and it was successful.
Yeah.
So then he didn't kill the unit. He killed 4 of them, which is still
legit, man.
He killed 2 of them, not in close combat, but he had this weird mech guy who just flat rolled 6 damage when I failed my invulnerable save twice. And I'm like, that's impressive. Not gonna lie. So he killed 4 Crisis Suits, and I'm like, well, this could not be good. So I just left combat, and then I started the Breacher train. Conveniently, all 20 of these guys were on an objective, along with all these other guys who were on objectives. And Breachers get full rerolls against units on objectives. So I threw some grenades, I had the rest of my army, and I pulled 15 Storm Boys and Zagstruck. I pulled Snickrot, I pulled 5 Mega Knobs, I pulled...
Jesus, man.
20 boys. I left a single character alive with 1 wound, and then I charged it with breachers to kill it off. And then he had the big shark guy in his deployment zone, and I'm like, well, I really don't want to deal with this for the rest of the game, so I just parked a devilfish in front of him.
So I'm going to go to the wall for 2 things. One, Wog Tactics said he mentioned that you did a great job of pre-measuring everything out. And Meta Monday says, Internet said the map table setups were wrong for day 2. Did you notice that, or did you care at all?
I didn't care at all.
I assume the answer to that.
I'm here to play 40K. So anytime I play 40K, I mean, there's people who take it very seriously, and there's people who just want to have fun. And I feel like I could do both a very competitive game of 40K while having fun, making sure my opponent has fun, demonstrating those awesome sportsmanship, and having a couple drinks to play Garage Hammer. And rereading the comments on War Games Live for all 3 of the games and seeing how people were very refreshed on how much fun we were having, forcing TJ to drink a margarita on stream. It was a good time.
It should be a good time. Again, we're playing with toy soldiers, my man. We're playing with toy soldiers.
No amount of winning at Adepticon will make up for the fact that it doesn't actually pay for Adepticon. I'm sorry. Being first on the internet doesn't pay for how much we spent at Adepticon.
Oh, God, no. So
not even close.
Let's go into game 2 when one of us took their teammate and kicked him out of the tournament. What a bastard.
What a dick. So Justin and I both realized that whoever won this game had to play 2 more games. Like, there was no choice. Like, regardless of how you did, you had to play 2 more games after this. And we're like, man, this sucks. I don't want to knock out my friend because, like,
let me hold on real quick. Let me show everybody the list that you played. As I'm clicking back and forth between your guys' lists.
And Justin's list?
Props to Justin. On. I gotta get in here. Big. There we go. So he was running the Cadre Fireblades.
He was running the Tau list of the future. He is ready for that Tau Codex to drop, and this is what you're going to see.
And you were so 2000 and late. Yeah.
I'm playing the Tau list of the past and present. He's playing the Tau list of the future. When Maka actually comes out, this is the shit you're going to see, and it will be broken as shit. It is so gross.
Now, I really thought, and we talked about this before you played this game, I thought the fact the no Sky Rays versus Sky Rays was going to be a big deal. Was it? And tell me how the game ended up working out.
So how did this game work out? So he played as Maka. He was playing super aggressive. I was playing super defensive. And at both this time, like, both of us are exhausted, right? Because you're standing on concrete for 14 hours playing 40K 2 days in a row. And he wanted to pressure me. He's like, you can't take all this stuff out. So I did.
Holy shit, Justin. I charged a piranha into his deployment zone turn 1. You, my friend, have a giant penis.
He did. He killed 2 Tetras with that. He hit with the melta gun and the seeker missiles and killed 2 Tetras like a boss.
I'm again, props to you. That's
like,
awesome.
He played super aggressively, and then there was a time when he wasn't failing his saves, and I'm like, oh no, and then he did.
And then he did. You said he was never gonna get her, but then he get her.
Like, we were playing fun. We both knew going into that game it was going to be a bloodbath of epic proportions, and whoever got, like, the serious first blood was going to win. And leading up into the future rounds, the fact that Justin's and I game was over so quick, because, like, we just called it after he had 2 Riptides left and I had.
But that's a big deal,
left.
Man. In a tournament where you're rocking 8 games in 2 days, getting some games over early is a must. It is. It's just a must.
So, like, the Orc game I finished about 20 minutes early, and then we had a lunch break, and then the Tau on Tau game we finished with like an hour and a half break plus 15 minutes between rounds. And the other top 4 games, they all went to time. So I was sitting there for an hour and 30 minutes, we'll say, sitting down, relaxing, shooting the shit, chatting with my friends, being absolutely refreshed, drinking a couple margaritas. It was perfect.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, and Justin's piranhas do so much more damage than my piranhas. My piranhas can't hit my piranhas are the equivalent of Star Wars stormtroopers. They can't hit a damn thing. Justin just goes in with 1 piranha and kills 2 Tetras without any +1s a hit or any rerolls. That guy's a boss. So Justin earned his 9-inch penis template.
Yes. Did he own it as much as Mitch, who destroyed everything on our table with a 9-inch penis template?
I believe he did.
So
it was a bummer to knock him out. I was hoping to play against him in the top 6, the top 1 or top 4, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I think the best part about the game is, like, Joe was really excited to have Tau on, and then he realized it was Tau versus Tau. He's like, never in a million years will I put this on stream. Fuck you, and walked away.
He's like, this is a game where I'm going to get 0 content from. Pew pew dead. Pew pew dead. All right, cool. Let's go do something else.
Justin, I need you to bless my piranhas. So next time I see you, I need you to give them a good prayer so they actually hit.
Ominous, Dominus, Taoist, Hitidus?
Yeah, something like that.
So how'd you feel about this? You go into Demons, and it is all Blood Crushers all the time with triple Fleshhounds and triple Skull Cannons with a couple Buffman, the Renmaster, and Skull Masters to go in each of the Juggernaut units, and Bellicor. And the thing is when I saw this matchup, I was worried that you didn't know what they did, but I was very confident that this was a good matchup for you
Yeah.
because as long as you have enough stuff to screen,
Yeah.
and that is the biggest thing is like, hey, blood crushers, you go on, get off the porch, you know.
So demons are another army where I've had a lot of play into, either doing the monster mash or mass infantry hordes or this exact list. Like, remember when we had that RTT at Lyle's house
Yeah.
and Stephen O was playing this exact list pretty
Yep.
much,
I was
except
just going
for
to say yes.
yeah. And I taking those lessons learned about how much damage blood crushers can do, and not when I played against the blood crushers, they didn't have the 3 characters attached. It was just the units of 6 blood crushers. Like I knew
Spellmasters don't fuck around.
I knew what they could do, and I played accordingly. So I used my piranhas and devilfish and breachers just to gunk up any place he could deep strike or try to get charges off. And it was just a bad day. Like he never tagged my crisis suits with blood crushers. He did tag devilfish. He did tag a sky ray. And I'm like, okay. I did make a big mistake that game. I did put the Riptide out a little farther ahead. What I should have done is move the Devilfish farther ahead and disembark the Breachers.
You create that
But
huge screen. You have
yeah,
your ability to screen is just crazy. They
and
displace so much.
they can't go through walls. And I just used the terrain against him. And I think by turn 2, he realized that this is a real bad matchup for me. Just
Oh,
because of
100%.
he can't get the charges off. I'm controlling where he's charging, and we were just doing a Blood Crusher rodeo where I'm like, all right, well, I'll let you charge, but you're charging this piranha.
Yeah.
Or you're charging this devilfish, which I just don't care about. And my Riptide and my Sky Rays and my Crisis Suits are all fine, and they're just pulling away each unit. The highlight of that game is he decided to move his Blood Crushers. I was like, I'm going to overwatch my Crisis Suits because I had exploding 6s to hit. So I get hit. I hit 14 times. I wound 12 of them, I believe. I kill 4 or 5 of the Blood Crushers. So effectively crippled the unit. Then I rolled my hazardous checks and killed 4 of my own models.
Ouch.
Perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. It was a good time.
Still isn't your top.
Oh no, that's the most I've ever killed in over in hazardous tests. It was 4.
Well, I was saying not in testing at least.
But it was a good game. Like he definitely that game was made more difficult by the fact I didn't realize that Riptides were OC4. So there were a couple objectives that I actually did have. So the score should have actually been 10 points higher than it was reported. It's fine. It's whatever.
So you go into the finals. You're playing TJ's Thousand Suns. And what were you thinking as far as this list has a ton of damage, but it falls apart pretty quickly if you get those Cabal points out? Thousand Suns is a hard, props to TJ for going all the way to the finals with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy amounts of damage, but also it's a list that can quickly fall apart at the seams because if you don't have enough Cabal points to do everything you need to do, it becomes very difficult to pilot.
So with this list, this was the first time I had played Thousand Suns with the new points adjustments. I had played against Thousand Suns a lot in 9th edition, and their 9th edition rules and their current edition they're pretty similar. Like they do a lot of the same things.
100%.
Like it's all based on Cabal points. And having played against them dozens of times with Ravenwing and now playing a couple times with Tau, I knew what the list did. And a combination of seeing what the terrain was, what TJ's actual list was, and my army, I was not worried at all. I was like, I could stand in the middle of the table and get 100 points.
You also have the thing is that you have a lot of just wounds, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest things that the Thousand Suns do is just mortal win you out. Chip damage, chip damage, chip damage.
Mm-hmm.
But you have holy crap amounts of wounds in the way.
Yeah, so TJ's army performs exceptionally well at killing one big unit. And he did. He put a beat down on my crisis suit block. But the problem is, that's it. I had the rest of my army completely untouched by turn 3.
So what were your main thing? What did you try to take out quickly? Because he's got a lot of garbage. He's got 3 units of Exalteds running around. He's got 3 Exalted on disc. He's got 3, I'm sorry, when I said 3 Exalted Zangors.
Yeah.
So he's got a decent amount of trash, and he's got a couple units of rubrics there.
So TJ put his entire army into a 8 foot by 12, or sorry, 8 inch by 12
I
inch
was like,
square.
8 foot.
Yeah, no,
So
eight,
he
eight.
took over another table. That guy was
He did. He did.
showing
He, he
establishing dominance.
he was trying to help out that corn player. No, he put his entire army in a square in the back corner, and I went first. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just out OC anything he tries to deep strike and make sure he can't physically deep strike onto the objectives. So I had Skyray, Darkstrider holding my home field. I had two Devilfish filled with breachers in the midfield. I had Tetras and Piranhas on the other objective. So I had 15 points guaranteed. Like, there's no way he can kill all those units to stop me from getting 15 points. My individual solo commander and my crisis suit block were on deep strike. I'm like, we'll keep him off the table. We'll see what TJ does. So turn one, I kill three of the guys on discs. I had smart missiles. It's easy to make short work of them. So turn two, he wants to get some shots with the Mutalith out, Mutalith Vortex Beast, and he wants to get one of his tactical objectives. So now that his Mutalith Vortex Beast is exposed, that guy's a key part to his list because he takes all the spells and doubles the
Doubles
range.
the range, which is huge, and it's a huge blow to him because a lot of those spells are 18-inch range, and
Yep.
you can just once he's dead, you can just outrange
Yep.
almost everything he has.
So I took my big crisis suit brick and I sacrificed it to take out the Vulex Morthek beast. So he was dead turn two. And then the other trash unit holding the objective was dead, and I had like 4 crisis suits and a commander on that objective. So I'm now firmly planted on 4 objectives, and he scores 5 points for his primary. So he comes out, he drops Aramon, he comes out with Magnus, and he puts Aramon, Magnus, and all the other random shots into the crisis suit block. Because if he doesn't kill them, they're now going to be in his backfield, and I will take his home
I would say
objective
you
from
take
him.
his home objective and he gets a 0.
Yeah. So this he deep struck with the flamer unit, and I know full well that 10 flamers, with no saves, that hurts. So I overwatch on it, and I kill 5 of the guys. So now he's down to 5 guys, Aramon and Magnus. He does all this stuff. He turns off my save. He does devastating wounds. I give the unit feel no pain. He kills 2 crisis suits with Aramon's unit and kills two suits with Magnus. So I still have a commander with 2 suits left.
Ooh, that's brutal. He didn't. That's out. That is
Yeah.
literally an ouch.
Yeah. Well, they have a 4 pinvold, so I don't care about them shutting off my save. And then they have feel no pain too. And I got a little bit lucky, rolling a couple 6s here and there. And that was with me helping TJ out to ensure that every guy who deep struck had line of sight even after pulling models. Like, I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt. And then at TJ and I agreed. I'm like, that's the game. Game's over. So we asked the judge, hey, do we keep playing? Like, this is going to go extremely bad for TJ, and it's not fun. We've been playing for 12 hours at this point. Let's go get a drink instead. And the judge, which I disagree with this, he's like, you guys should keep playing because there's no policy of what to do in the rules. So we played turn 3, and I pulled Aramon and the remaining guys. I dropped Magnus down to 1 or 2 wounds.
Say also, I heard
And,
Magnus flies, so Sky Rays are getting full rerolls.
The Sky Rays actually didn't get line of sight because I had them in my backfield.
Gotcha.
But I did hit him with a couple smart missile shots. Nothing too crazy. But he had 2 wounds left, and that's using all of his defensive buffs, all of his CP reroll abilities. Like, he had 2 wounds left, and there were 10 breachers standing immediately in front of him. And like, if he moves at all, the breachers are going to kill him. And then finally, the judge is like, "Okay, well, you guys could call it because clearly this game is not going well." And I'm like, "Thank you." So we got done in like an hour and 20 minutes.
Again, congratulations, my friend. You rocked it out with this list and crushed it.
Yeah, it was super exciting. Like, when I went to Adepticon, I never. This is my 11th Adepticon, I believe.
Justin, I'm going to kill you on this. Justin called you out. He goes, "Yeah, I like how it's nothing too crazy, and you put him down to 2 wounds. Just tell things."
Breachers. That's all. Breachers turn 3 without full rerolls because he wasn't on an objective.
Killing it though.
I was very surprised. I saw when I did make the top 16, similar to how I felt about Cherokee. Like, the top 16 didn't really have the tools to deal with the stuff I was bringing. Like, Demons could have rolled a lot more 4+s and made the game a lot harder, but he was just rolling average.
No, see, you got too many screens. He didn't. People with no guns, and you have too many screens. It's just too hard.
Yeah,
it's a big deal on that.
I was a little concerned about playing against the Necron guy because I didn't think it was going to be that fun of a game, just because there were a lot of rules interactions that I don't quite think he was getting right. but it's all good. We didn't. The
It's also
pairings didn't work
4
out
up
that
life.
way.
4 up 5 up life is the thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you have a game like Brad did. By the way, I'm going to tell this story. So while Brandon was crushing in 40K, I rushed over to Alan's house because we had to move our display board. So if anybody didn't see it, our display board is gigantic. It's a 2-piece, 12-foot tall display board. And it is, I don't know how big it is around, about this big. So we loaded up into a U-Haul.
Do you have a picture of this? I know there's a picture.
There's definitely a picture. I don't have it with me right now. Hold on. Super chat. Probability 199. Not getting out of here without a Go Blue. Because why not?
We're gonna need a Go Blue and Go Moo compilation now. Probability.
Yeah, exactly. Go Blue, Go Blue. So my job is to get in the back. We've done this a couple of years now. So apparently they tied it with, I don't know, cotton candy. So I'm in the back of a dark U-Haul. By the way, the light kicks on every once in a while. So just like a horror movie of flashing lights. It's exactly. It's huge. That's what she said. Yeah. So also, Kyle,
I think the best part about it is you had this 16-foot tall display board that came out in several pieces. I have no idea how much it weighed. I imagine it weighed a lot.
and
they just gave you they gave you this collapsible chair. Like,
yes.
not even
I'm sitting in a collapsible chair for. By the way, I sat for 2 seconds. As soon as we literally left Alan's driveway, the cotton candy that they tied it with immediately came undone, and for an hour, I tried to rodeo surf with this thing and was just getting pummeled because I couldn't predict where the fuck we were going. I'm in the dark in the back of a U-Haul. So I occasionally just take it to the face. My nose was bleeding when I got out. So I'm surfing with this thing and I'm just getting trashed into walls and stuff. And luckily it was not screwed up by the time I was beat up. The display board ended up being fine. I was not fine. They opened the door and I'm just fucking in fuego angry. And I was just like, man, I've never even seen Brad this mad. I'm like, I'm done with you. And I just walked away.
I don't know why you agree to this because I'm pretty sure the same fucking thing happened last year. Didn't this happen last year when you were moving the
It wasn't
one?
as bad. I could wedge it and I had to hold it. This is the first year that I was just doing a free-form surfing expedition with a giant display board that was just crushing me into walls. Last year I could jam things in and make it happen. This year was awful. Also, I did send the text.
I would have paid so much money to have a video of this, like a live stream video of this.
Oh. Also, Kyle said that you were lucky he wasn't there. He would have beat you in every game. You would have been 0-8, even though you wouldn't have been able to play games.
Not with that trash list you were taking. I'll do the same thing I did to everyone else. Use breachers to block you and blow you off the table.
The true story, that thing was taller than me with a higher center of mass. I got down and dirty. That's the only way I was able to do it. It was by far the longest ride I've had ever, I feel, because I had no concept of where we were. So I'm just getting beat up, and I don't know if we're 2 minutes away, 2 days away. Like, what the fuck is happening? Time and space meant nothing to me. It was just pain.
This sounds like you were Ash Williams fighting the tree. That's what this sounds like to me.
True story.
Like the lights are flickering on and off, and you're being attacked by an inanimate object and trying to survive.
I just think they were trying to make me have a seizure, is what they were trying to do. Just kick on the lights every once in a while.
Well, they were probably like flickering it on and off from the inside front cockpit.
Just making it happen. Like, screw Brad.
So Brad, now that I have this like golden ticket and this medallion, you have to come to Atlanta.
Fine, I'll come this year. I had like several golden tickets. I gotta win a golden ticket this year. I haven't won it enough.
You gotta win it. You gotta win it. So
I'll go to go, but I gotta just have to figure out what has a golden ticket. So I'll go.
They haven't actually published the list yet.
No, because I'll go to something and I'll win something and then we'll go. Fine, I'll go this year.
Go. So we probably won't stay at the main hotel because it's insanely costed. But we'll just walk down the street. We'll be fine.
Are we gonna get? Oh, my only thing is I'm only coming to the champs if I can get bonkers drunk.
Yes.
That's the key.
Well, last year so I went to the Warhammer World Championships last year, and I ran into Swedish people I haven't met before, and I ensured that all three of us were drunk the entire time.
Quad fisting it. That's the key. Get a quad fist.
So, and I found out that the one guy, Joel Larson, like he went to the Warhammer World Champs, like he's on Team Sweden this year. So he's trying to get back too, so we can hang out in Atlanta. So if I'm going, I'm making a commitment now. This is the earliest I've ever made a commitment to a 40K tournament, and I'm already talking about what kind of list I'm going to take to this. So if I'm going, you need to go.
I will, and I'm going to be also. I'm excited for your towel because I'm excited to make lists because this is what I do in the first place. But you motherfuckers jumping orcs, you son of a bitch.
So let's be real though. So while the Tau book came out in that starter box, it's not legal till probably May, right? So April's probably when Custodes and Orc are coming out. So I do think we'll have orcs before Tau are legal.
Whatever. I'm out. I'm done with you. Also, KR, I have no idea. And that Kansas City thing was trash fire for how much it costed. May 19th, 100% I'll be there. What month is it right now?
It is March. It's almost the end of April. Or sorry, the end of March.
So I'm going to apparently May 19th in North Carolina. Okay. Lyle, figure out how we're getting there. I'm going to.
That's the Mayhem GT in North Carolina.
Yeah, I can't. Whoa! Are you asking me? And I have to figure this shit out.
I'm asking Kyle. I know you don't know anything.
Are you going to go to it?
Maybe.
That's true. You might be.
I don't know what's going on.
You might be over a rainbow somewhere. True story. But I'm going to Anna's next week in the new shop, which I'm pretty excited about because it looks cool. And then we're doing Dayton. Team tournament with the Gemhammer guys after that, and then I think that I'm in several tournaments after that I don't know. Oh yeah, KR. Also, please like and subscribe. It totally helps. Like and subscribe to Death and Glory. Like and subscribe to Still Frosty with 2 words for sure.
Still Frosty Gaming. You can't even get the name right, Brad.
God damn it!
It's been over a year. We've been doing this for over a year now.
Look, man, I haven't been online for a while. I've been pretty jacked up. I was getting my 24-hour blood pressure monitor on yesterday, so thank you very much. That was my excitement.
Are you part robot now? Like, are you half man?
No,
half
it was
machine?
just a monitor thing. It's done deals on that.
So I do want to know, Kyle, does this tournament allow the new Tau rules? Because my next goal is to win a tournament using the Kroot detachment.
I can think you do that. I'm actually really excited for the Kroot detachment.
I think it's fun. It won't kill anything. But it's fun.
No, because you do 1,000 points of crew. You know, we're going to do this for the last 2 minutes. We're talking Tau. You bring about 800 to 1,000 points of crew.
Eloise wants me to show off the Riptide with the correct stat line.
Yeah.
So here you go. Here's one of the Riptides with the actual correct stat line. He's OC4, guys. He has 6 attacks in close combat. His weapons are AP 2 and 3.
How much damage does he do, Brandon?
Oh, I did have that correct. Damage 3 and damage 4 on the ion cannon.
No, I'm saying in the hand-to-hand.
Oh, 2 damage each in hand-to-hand.
There you go. You also
these are all things that I've learned.
You also thought they did 1 damage.
Yes, a Cherokee.
God damn it. You're worse than me now. This is how you're winning more games. Lyle with a $2 super chat. What percentage of your army will be Kroot? If I run the Kroot detachment, somewhere between 40 and 50%. Because I actually think that the Kroot detachment's legit because you can do the same thing you're doing with the Breacher Fish and stuff like that. And you can do it with literally regenerating big Kroot units. And I think that the Farstalker? What's the lone op guy that bounces?
Oh, the Lone Spear.
The Lone Spear is amazing in a Kroot army. And Farstalkers are good. And you can really jam the board with a lot of OC, with a lot of blocking. Having a 5-up invuln is a big freaking deal when you're talking about masses of trash units. You know what I mean? Taking away 33% of all the damage that comes through you is a real thing. You can get in the way. You can literally there's so much stuff that scouts and or because a couple units do both for deploy. You know what I mean? You can lock people down with nonsense and then put your standard Riptide, Sky Rays, whatever in the backfield, and lay down a lot of fire. Will it be the best attachment? I don't think so. Is it going to be fun?
It's definitely the weakest attachment because Kroot don't have the rules to take out big things. So you have to take other units to take out those big things. Maybe it's going to be the Soul Forge Crisis Suits, maybe Riptides and Sky Rays.
I think you can get away with Tides and Sky Rays, bro.
Tides and Sky Rays. That's what I'm looking at.
You've got a lot of points to work with. You know what I mean? Because again, 2CP, you're genning up those 20-man squads back. I think that's going to be legit. Is it going to be the best detachment? No. Is it going to be 100% tournament worthy? Yes, 1,000%. You can do well, possibly win something big with them. I don't think it's going to be the most optimized list, but I think it's going to be fully good. You know what I mean?
And Eloise pointed out they have grenades.
100%.
Most important rule. They'll deal so many mortals.
Use it all the time.
We just have to wait for a couple clarifications. Like, does the Shaper character allow you to bring back an entire unit for free? Technically, he does because you allocate damage one at a time. But that's not clear. People are arguing both ways, and we just need to see the points.
Points are going to be the biggest thing. 100%.
My concern is there's zero chance Kroot will save 55 points for 10. Not with OC2 and Sicky objectives.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I'm telling you right now, Brad. You can quote me right now.
I'll put this out there right now.
Fix my list. So 3 Storm Surges, 3 units of Cell Suits, the rest points Kroot. So you're getting about 500 points. There is no
points in Kroot then. The Storm Surges are like 440 points, aren't they?
Well, if we go with what the current tab book is, they're 400, and Stealth Suits, just because they got a buff, we'll say Stealth Suits are 70, 75. So you have about 400 points left.
That's not enough. You need more points. If you're going to play the Kroot,
you need stuff. You need as many bodies as possible.
Need more Town Hour.
Oh, you want to talk about big purchases that are mildly inappropriate? Did you know that right before Adepticon, Justin Cook bought a Manta?
Why? Also, you know that CK has 2 of them?
So Justin bought a Manta, and after he builds this one, he told me, hey, Brandon, my job is probably going to give me another bonus at some point in time this year. I can have another Manta. And I'm like, you could, Justin. Your cats will ride on like fucking surfboards, but
dude, they're so heavy too, by the way.
They're 30 pounds.
It's
not
like,
including base.
Yeah, it's just like crazy. I was just like, Jesus, when I picked those things up. Yeah. Also, they hold like 4,000 points of shit inside of them.
Well, so I didn't realize this until Justin pointed out. I just assumed if you buy a Manta, that's all you get is a Manta. No, it actually comes with 2 Devilfish, 2 Skyray / Hammerheads, and like 6 Crisis Suits, and like 20 infantry.
Yep. I would say we've had 2 Manas in Snakes' basement for like 2 years. They're gigantic. You can't move them at all. You can't deploy. Can't do anything.
There needs to be a Death of Glory event where everyone brings out their Mantas.
No, Adepticon has. Does Adepticon still have the Apocalypse game?
I don't know, because years prior they did it right in the 40K hall where all the Imperial Knight armies were just playing in the 40K hall. They may have moved it to another room, but I didn't see it this year.
All I'm saying is that they need to do that because then you could play them at Nova and that. Because I know that Nova for sure had a big game. Because during my Shadow Round game, I went and played in the Titan game for about a half hour.
So the St. Louis Open does. And when's that event, Michael?
And
I want to make sure that Justin gets his money's worth with that Manta purchase. He needs to use it in at least 2 games this year.
Storms, all these things are too expensive for me, but Anna's got a point. Being able to scout up Storm Surges and then advance and shoot is something that I'd be kind of hilarious to do. You're playing like board corner deployment, search and destroy, and you just peek over and like, what's up going on over there, guys?
so Brad, I think we should coordinate with Justin and whomever else wants to talk. I think we should do a Tau Codex breakdown. I think between your viewpoints, my viewpoints,
let's do it Sunday.
Justin Cook, Sean Rice, it's Easter on Sunday. I know I don't care.
Oh shit, I forgot about Easter. Never mind.
I'm a heathen.
I can't do any of that.
But
I'm not. My fully Catholic family will murder me if I don't show up.
But let's chat with a couple people who would be interested. I think there's a lot of cool information to break down.
Well, let's do this. Everybody, let's do a. You want to do a 1 or 2 o'clock on Monday? because that we'll have a full weekend to really go through the book and really deep down it.
Yeah, like I'm prepared to make some point or lists.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. How about this? Does Justin want to do it? I say we make.
Well, Justin has a job because he's a big boy.
That's silly talk.
But I think we could do Saturday, maybe. I don't know. Let's talk. We will definitely make an announcement. Let's do a Codex breakdown because I think a lot of us are really excited for the new Tau book.
But I want to do a list, at least one list per detachment.
Okay, we can do that. Like Justin's on it. Like him and I talked at length about the new Tau stuff and what points could potentially look like and what units we're considering and stuff like that.
I love them, Lyle. Let's talk about Tau with all the guys who aren't Lyle. It's 3 guys. We didn't say you couldn't come on.
I said whomever was interested. I think it'd be really popular, and I think it would be. I mean, we do have the highest density of Tau players in the Midwest.
We could do Sunday night.
I don't care about it. We could do whatever time on Easter. I literally do not care about Easter.
What is everybody? You know what I'm putting on? I'm doing a 1-minute poll.
Yeah, do a poll. Put some dates and times, and let's do it. I don't need your fake charity.
Oh, shut your face, Lyle. Tau time, Sunday. You know what? I'm just doing them in order.
Kyle, you're my hero. I expect you too, Kyle, to come to Atlanta.
Vote on it.
I say 7 p.m. That seems pretty consistent.
Sunday night. We're doing it then.
Let's do it. And then you can put up you can schedule it right after we get off the call.
I'll do it right now. I'll do it while we're on the call.
Do it. You won't. It looks like 7 p.m. is going to be it.
7 is starting to run away with it. So
yeah.
7 o'clock. Why is Lyle mad? I thought he played demons.
Well, he's been playing Nurgle recently. He's been playing Plague Marines.
All of the stuff, some of the times, my friends. Well, let's Queen's Wave out.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us.
And we'll see you on Sunday to talk about Tau. Let's do it.
I should probably pitch my company first, though.
I mean, you should have been doing that during the stream.
Well, it's still during the stream.
Well, let's do it, baby.
If you want to check out some of these awesome Tau creations or maybe get some of your own, you can message me at Still Frosty Gaming on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And we also have a website, stillfrostygaming.com. Some of Brad's models were designed by these hands, and he won a tournament with them.
I have actually several of them. So
you see what I'm saying?
If Brandon makes you models, you will immediately start winning GTs.
Your dice roll better with fully painted models.
True. I mean, that is a true story.
Damn it, probability. I'm judging you so hard right now.
Still space. Yes. And on that note, everybody,
go moo.
Go moo.